Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of Game of Thrones. And Tommen is now the king of the throne. And he was given a ceremony where he was announced the king. And of course, we have Marjorie off in the corner, ready to make her move. And Cersei sees this and she goes over to her and they have a very intriguing conversation. And she even says to her that Joffrey would have made her miserable and that, her son really isn't the rightful king. But it is what it is. And now he hopefully will do a good job and that he's going to need somebody to help lead him. And of course, Marjorie's acting as if she's all like, oh, I don't really even know if, I want to be queen. And if I'm still married to Joffrey and I'm still mourning him. So she's doing this really innocent act right now. But we all know that she's already made her move when she snuck into Tommen's room in last week's episode to pretty much lay down the groundwork before his mother could poison him against her. So very intriguing scene. And I love the end when Marjorie says, I don't even, there's going to be a bunch of weddings coming up. I don't know whether I'm going to be calling you sister or mother. And then she has like this very sly look and it's awesome. And you know that Cersei is just like, biting her tongue because she just wants to probably rip her throat out. Then we have some scenes with Sansa. Oh no, sorry. First, then we go over to of course, the mother of dragons. And she's not very pleased right now because she has just been told that all these slaves that she has freed are now being overturned and like people are taking over and they're basically being enslaved once again. So she is not pleased with this. She is just been made aware that Joffrey has died and, they're weighing their options. Should they go to Westeros? Should they take over King's Landing? And her right-hand man is basically saying, we don't you're not trying to become the queen of King's Landing. You're trying to become the king of these seven kingdoms. And she makes a good point, which is how can she rule these seven kingdoms if she can't even basically take care of the cities that she's already taken over, and now the slaves that have been freed are becoming enslaved again. So she says she's going to do what a queen should do, and that is to rule. And I love that because she basically knows that she can't just become this a formidable force without being able to prove that she can do it. How is she going to have these people be loyal to her if she can't even take care of the cities that she's already overturned? And now people are basically going in and overturning all of the work that she's done. So she's going back to take charge, and I love that. Then, of course, we have this really great scene with Littlefinger, aka Peter Baelish, and Sansa. And they're making their way over to her Aunt Liza's palace, kingdom craziness. And as they approach, they're talking about how this is the only way to get into this city or to at least where she lives, and that nobody has ever been able to breach this like fortress of a gate to get through. And when they get inside, this is crazy Liza, whose son is like who knows how old. And I remember a couple seasons ago she was like breastfeeding him. It was just so disturbing. So anyways, we've arrived here and we get the sense that she knows a lot of what's been going on, and we find out that she is aware that Littlefinger was arranging for Tommen to become the new king, and he had to get Sansa out of the city and bring her to Liza's home. And now she wants to marry Peter pronto. And he's all like, oh yeah, like don't we need to get all these people here before we can do that? And she basically says, listen, I've already done everything that a wife needs to do, which is I poisoned my husband for you. And I did this, like she basically is letting him know, and us, the audience, know that she's the one who sent this letter to her sister Catherine. And we all know that Littlefinger was in love with her this whole time. So now the fact that he's going to have to marry Liza is very interesting. And we find out that Liza is very crazy when she starts grilling Sansa and asking Sansa if she's still a virgin or has Littlefinger, made a move on her. Did Tywin or did Tyrion lay a hand on her and all this? Like, she's extremely creepy because she wants to know the truth. And that is if Littlefinger has done anything to her and if she's pregnant and all this. And Sansa's like, you're hurting me, you're hurting me. And she's like, I know that he loved my sister this whole time. Like, crazy. The scene is crazy. And then afterwards she's all like, oh honey, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Like, oh my god. And in that whole scene we find out that Liza is obviously hoping that Tyrion is murdered so that she will then go and marry her son Robin, and she, meaning Sansa, will become the queen of the Vale, or the Lady of the Vale. Oh my god. Woman is crazy. But she does end up marrying Peter, and we hear them uncomfortably having sex. Okay, so of course we had some really great scenes with Arya and the Hound, and we all know that in past seasons she's always made it a point to say all the names of the people that she wishes to kill, and Joffrey is still on that list, so obviously she doesn't know that Joffrey's been killed. And at the end of it, like, the Hound is like, would you shut up, like, stop talking, da da da. And at the end of it, she's like, I just have one more name I need to say, and she says the Hound. So I thought that was hilarious that in her whole list of people that she wants to kill, the Hound, who is basically saving her life and helping her, she wants to kill. So they had another very interesting exchange when she was like doing this like fighting, and she's, talking about the greatest person who ever was a swordsman, and that person ended up dying, and the Hound is just basically making fun of her, saying, listen, you can't believe this if the person that you thought was this great warrior died and didn't even use a sword to do it. So of course these two always having hilarious scenes together, but I think at the end of the day, he is like her new father figure, and that is just the bottom line. We also had some interesting stuff with Brienne and Podrick, and she wasn't interested in him being there for her, and he's been basically told to go and be her what's it called again? Basically her protector. And she's like, I don't need you. I don't need you. But then by the end, she softens up. She finds out that he is the one who killed Tyrion. I think it was like the king's hand or something. He had done that back when they had that big fight. And Tyrion got slashed in the face. So, she softens up to Podrick, and she allows him to take care of her, which is kind of cool. Then we had the most interesting scene, which was with Bran and Locke coming there to try to grab him and snatch him. And Bran does that thing where he like rolls his eyes back and they turn white. And he had Hodor take him, and they ran off. As they were running off, Hodor caught up to them, grabbed Locke by the neck, snapped it. He's dead. Then Jon Snow had this crazy fight with Carl where he basically drove a knife through the back of his head. Crazy, okay? The grossest kill I've seen in a long time on this show. So lots went down, and they ended up burning down Craster's keep, and that's all gone up in a big fiery ball, which is awesome. So where we go from here should be very interesting. They're still laying down a lot of groundwork. Everyone is still trying to get to the throne, and right now the person on the throne is Tommen. We'll see how it goes next week, guys. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.